Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jadaranjanan Yashodanandana Braja Jadaranjanan Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jadaranjanan Yashodanandana Braja Jadaranjanan Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe Jaya Radha Kalachandji Radha Kalachandji Radhe Jaya Jaya Jagannath 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 Jaya Jaya Jagannath Jaya Jaya Baladev 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 Jaya Jaya Baladev Jaya Jaya Subhadra, 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 Jaya Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Jaya Gornitai, 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 Jaya Jaya Gornitai. Nitai Guru Haribo, 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 Nitai Guru Haribo. Nitai Guru Haribo, 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 Nitai Guru Haribo. Jai. Jai, Jai, Shishi, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai, Shishi Radhakala Chanji Dham ki Jai. Jai, Shishi Man, Srimad. Srimad. Bhagavatam ki Jai. You know, when the energy is such in the room, this is the way it's supposed to be at all times. Anytime anyone steps on holy ground, and this is holy ground, and it's as holy as we make it, but anytime you step your feet on holy ground, we should be in bliss, total bliss. And I was listening when I came in, and as much as I know that there's some dances that I cannot do, I wanted to actually touch the ceiling because of the energy in this room. This is the way we should honor Srila Prabhupada, the scriptures, and each other. And the topic today touches on two things that are very important in order to attain this energy. So I'm hoping that something that is said is of assistance to you in attaining the level of bliss, because that's who we are. We're supposed to be blissful. And in the world as it is now, there's very little of it. But we have a special recipe, the scriptures, associations, and how we interact and combine the two. So if there's something that's said today that assists you, I have to give my spiritual master, His Holiness Bhakti Tirtha Swami, credit for that, because I am not doing it alone. I never do anything alone. I cannot make it through the day without the holy name and without the mercy of Guru. And see, I didn't want to do all that before I got into the text, but I just wanted to share it. I was so in, it actually came to me to share it with you. So we're going to read from, again, Canto 10, Chapter 2, text 34 through 37. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we'll start by reading text 34, the translation. Who wants to start? We just have a couple.
O Lord, during the time of maintenance, you manifest several incarnations, all with transcendental bodies, beyond the material modes of nature. When you appear in this way, you bestow all good fortune upon the living entities by teaching them to perform Vedic activities such as ritualistic ceremonies, mystic yoga, austerities, penances, and ultimately samadhi, aesthetic absorption in the thoughts of you. Thus, you are worshipped by the Vedic principles.
35.
O Lord, cause of all causes, if your transcendental body were not beyond the modes of material nature, one could not understand the difference between matter and transcendence. Only by your presence can one understand the transcendental nature of your Lordship, who are the controller of material nature. Your transcendental nature is very difficult to understand unless one is influenced by the presence of your transcendental form.
O Lord, your transcendental name and form are not ascertained by those who merely speculate on the path of imagination. Your name, form, and attributes can be ascertained only through devotional service.
Even while engaging in various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed in at your lotus feet, and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms, are always on the transcendental platform, and thus they can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So text 37. Srinvan Grina Sammauranyamscha Chintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalanite Krishyasu Yastachcharan Dravindaya Twistas Chaitana Bhava Kalpate Srinvagrina Samsarayam Cha Chintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalani Te Kriyaya Shuta Yastach Charavdran Vindaya Avista Chaitana Bhavaya Kalpate Srinvan Grinan Samsmarayam Cha Chintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalanite Kriyashu Yastva Charadra Vindaya Avista Chaitana Bhavaya Kalpate. Repeat, someone, please. Shri Vangrahanamaram Cha Chintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalite Kriyashu Yastvachara Vrindaya Avista Chaitana Bhavaya Kalpate Shrinvan Chakan Chintayan Namani Rupani Chamangalinite Kriyasha Yastrachara Vindaya Avista Chaitana Vajya Kalpate Shrivan Grinan Samvaryam Chadintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalanite Kriyasya Yastva Charavindayor Avista Chaitana Bhavaya Kalpate Shri Vangrihan Samsaravancha Chintayan Namani Rupani Cha Mangalanite Kriyasha Yastachara Vindaya Yor Avesta Chaitanya Bhavaya Kalpate. Very nice, Sam. Thank you. So, word for word, Srinvan, constantly hearing about the Lord. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnam. Grinan, chanting or reciting the holy name of the Lord and his activities. Samsmaryam, remembering, constantly thinking of the Lord's lotus feet and his form. Cha, and Chintayan, contemplating the transcendental activities of the Lord. Namani, his transcendental names. Rupani, his transcendental forms. Cha, also Mangalani, which are all transcendental and therefore auspicious. Te, of your lordship. Priyashu, in being engaged in the devotional service. Yaha, he who, Twacharana Charavindaya, at your lotus feet. Avista Chetaha, the devotee who is completely absorbed in such activities. Na, not. Bhavaya, for the material platform. Kalpate, is fit. Translation, even while engaged in the various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed at your lotus feet and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms are always on the transcendental platform. And thus, they can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: how Bhakti Yoga can be practiced is explained in this verse. Srila Rupa Goswami has said that anyone who has dedicated his life to the service of the Lord, Iha Yasha Hare Dasye, by his activities, his mind and his words, Karamana, Manasa, Gira, may stay in any condition of life, Nikalasvapi Avastasu, and yet is no longer actually conditioned, but is liberated, Jivanmukta Sa Uchyate. Even though such a devotee is in a material body, he has nothing to do with this body, for he is transcendentally situated. Narayana para savena utaschana dibyate. Because a devotee is engaged in transcendental activities, Bhagavad Gita 6:17-28. Illustrating this liberated position, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu prayed, Mam Janame Janman Nishwara Bhavatad Bhaktir Ahutake Twaye. All I want is your causeless devotional service in my life, birth after birth. Shikshastaka 4. Even if a devotee, by the supreme will of the Lord, takes birth in this material world, he continues his devotional service. When King Bharat made a mistake and in his next life became a deer, his devotional service did not stop, although some slight chastisement was given to him because of his negligence. Narada Muni says that even if one falls from the platform of devotional service, he is not lost, whereas non-devotees are lost entirely because they are not engaged in service. Bhagavad Gita 9:14 therefore recommends that one always engage at least in chanting the Maha Mantra Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantas cha drida vrataha namazyantas cha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. Always chanting my glories, endeavoring with great determination, bowing down before me. The great souls perpetually worship me with devotion. One should not give up the process of devotional service, which is performed in 9 different ways: Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnam, Smaranam, Parasevanam, etc. The most important process is hearing, Shravanam, from the Guru, Sadhu, and Sastra, the spiritual master, the saintly acharyas, and the Vedic literatures. Sadhu Sastra Guru Vakya, Jate Karya Akya. We should not hear the commentaries and explanations of non-devotees, for this is strictly forbidden by Srila Sanatana Goswami, who quotes from the Padma Purana, Avaishnava Mukko Girnam Putam Hari Katatam Maritam Sravanam Nevam Katavya Sapachishtam Yata Payaha. We should strictly follow this injunction and never try to hear from Mayavadis, impersonalists, voidists, politicians, or so-called scholars, strictly avoiding such inauspicious associations. We should simply hear from pure devotees. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends Sri Guru Parashraya. One must seek shelter at the lotus feet of a pure devotee who can be one's guru. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advises that a guru is one who strictly follows the instructions of Bhagavad Gita. Hare Deka, Tara, Kaha, Krishna, Upadesha. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela 7.128. A juggler, a magician, or one who speaks nonsense as an academic career is not a guru. Rather, a guru is one who presents Bhagavad Gita, Krishna's instructions as it is. Shravana is very important. One must hear from the Vaishnavas, Sadhu, Guru, and Shastra. The word kriyashu, meaning by manual labor or by work, is important in this verse. One should engage in practical service to the Lord. In our Krishna consciousness movement, all our activities are concentrated upon distributing Krishna literature. This is very important. One may approach any person and induce him to read Krishna literature so that in the future he also may become a devotee. Such activities are recommended in this verse, Kriyashu Yach Tvacharavindaya. Such activities will always remind the devotee of the Lord's lotus feet. By fully concentrating on distributing books for Krishna, one is fully absorbed in Krishna. This is samadhi. Om Gnana Timarantasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshun Milatam Yena Tashma Shri Guruve Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadmayam Tadati Swapadandikam Vanchakalpa Turubhyascha Kripa Sindubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanevya Vaishnavevya Namo Namaha Jaya Shri Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadaraha Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Sai Buddha Shrimad Bhakti Tirtha Swami Chitmani Namaste Krishna Bhagavad Astri Shri Guru Karuna Shakti Bhakti Tirtha Swami Namaste the scriptures, if we're alert and on our toes, no matter how many times we read it, we can make a story out of just one line. There is so much nectar in the scriptures. So to the best of my ability, I will attempt to share with you what I have acquired from reading just these texts. First of all, we're approaching the birth of Krishna. The qualities are being explained very nicely and very precisely. And the point that keeps coming across over and over again is devotional service, the Lord taking care of his own, how we should just really respect and take shelter of the scriptures. In the translation again, and for my purification, I'm reading this. Even while engaged in various activities, devotees whose minds are completely absorbed at your lotus feet and who constantly hear, chant, contemplate, and cause others to remember your transcendental names and forms are always on the transcendental platform, and thus they can understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the transcendental platform jumps out at me because, as I said, when I came, I was hearing the sound vibrations. And it doesn't take much. It's very simple. The instructions of the scripture are very simple. The requirements of being a devotee are so basic, they're too easy. They're too complicated. Read, chant, take shelter of the proper association, hear from Guru, Acharyas. Just those very basics. It doesn't say you've got to pronounce Sanskrit properly, you have to remember it, you should be able to recall it. So many of us are able to do that, but then how do you put the instructions of the spiritual master, of Srila Prabhupada, of the books, how much do we put those instructions to use? Do we come here and we, for lack of a better word, we perform in front of their lordships, and then we leave? How much of this do you take outside that door? When we come and see the Lord, he's very present. They're always very beautiful. They're present. But one of the key things, and I think one of the really key things in order for us to get through this material world, through all of the nonsense that's going on, is not only to see the Lord, recognize him, take shelter of him, but to see the Lord in the heart of each and every one of us. We have a problem. I didn't say we're not this body. We know we're not this body. But the point is, the Lord sits in our heart, and one is very ignorant to come here, take shelter, kirtan, all of those nice things, and to leave and not see the Lord in the heart of each and every one. Across all of the basic religions, all of the bona fide religions, I think if we acted on that level, what a totally different world this would be. We wouldn't be so attached to, well, this particular religion, I don't understand it. Well, that person, I don't get it. Well, I don't know. It doesn't matter. All that matters is that you understand that the Lord is present at all times. We have never at any point, no matter how low our life may go or get, We have never been alone. But what connects us really is the Lord in the heart. It's like a string, like the pearls around the Lord's neck of pure devotees. When we can connect like that, we can have kirtans that light up not only this temple, but the entire neighborhood. It is absolutely fantastic. And the transcendental nature, the potential of having that spiritual connection with the Lord, we all have the potential. We all have it. And I'm just out of curiosity, has anyone ever had a transcendental moment with the Lord? That special moment where you connect with the Lord through an experience. Do we understand what it is and what it feels like? Anyone? Please, I don't know, where's our mic so that they can hear you when you speak?
I've had several near-death experiences. I've also passed over and come back. It was in my time. The last one I had was about 2 years ago. I got dengue fever twice in a row, and I was on my deathbed multiple times within 2 weeks. And I didn't have much energy. I was so weak, but it was a blessing of the Lord because I didn't have any worries. I didn't have any desires. I didn't have any grudges. I didn't have any attachments. I didn't have space for that. I didn't have the energy for it. All I had was the Lord. And I realized that's all I wanted. It's all I needed. And that moment really changed my life.
Beautiful. Absolutely wonderful. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Transcendental moment, nature, experiencing that relationship that the Lord extends to all of us. Sam?
Yeah. Say like, yeah, I can accept Krishna as my son, right?
You can.
He's like, I can accept Mohini Morty as my wife, right?
You can accept the spiritual potencies in whatever capacity they allow. Thank you, Sam. Thank you. Anyone else?
I still don't know if I can experience that, but I have felt it so many times when I don't even wish to Krishna, when I just think about something and how he present that thing later on to me without any, when I don't have any plans to see that thing, just like to have Lord Gopal gifted by somebody or to be able to perform for him in the temple, all those little things that he does, I think that's the presence of Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Hare
I guess
Krishna.
many times when, something's happening in my life and I'm kind of like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? And then, I don't know, later on something will happen. Maybe I'll be reading Srimad Bhagavatam, some purport somewhere, and it'll just like, I'll just understand everything, and I'll just be like, oh my God, that was totally Krishna,
Yes.
And then it just like time and time again that happens. That, sometimes we lose faith in Krishna. We think, Krishna, what are you doing to me? Like, did you make a mistake?
No.
Then you realize Krishna didn't make a mistake. Krishna's very alert and everything he does is perfect. And he has his ways of confirming that.
He does. He does, really. And there are a lot of us, we have opportunities to be challenged by Krishna. When things seem to go south, it's not that you've done anything wrong. Sometimes we have to go through these challenges to reach another level. When you're getting all of these challenges and purifications and you're following the principles and staying on the path, it is not a punishment. It is Krishna showing you his love. Because if you stay at the same level and nothing else happens, you don't go anywhere. You remain right here in this material world. We need our struggles. They don't mean that you've done something wrong. It could be purification from the previous life. It could be just what you need to move from one stage to the other. But if you're not getting challenges and you're following the path, then something's wrong. The challenges we're supposed to welcome. And yes, there's some times when it's like you're saying, Krishna, did you make a mistake? Are you kidding me? Is this what you're going to do? I have those moments. And then Krishna reveals himself. He reveals himself differently with every single one of us, but I'll tell you what is important. Bhakti yoga, devotional service. I discovered the transcendental feeling, nature, for lack of a better word. Not that I'm above anyone, because any of that is possible to us. But I discovered it initially by washing pots in a temple. The pots were too big to even lift, but I did it. But I enjoyed it. I totally enjoyed it. I thought I was doing Krishna a favor. And in essence, he was doing me a favor. Then it went from washing pots to, I headed up a Food for Life. I was on the committee for the Rath Yatra, Pujari service. And with each one of those steps, a challenge took place, but also transcendental moments were happening because I wasn't expecting it. And don't expect these moments. Don't say, Krishna he will give you whatever. Mysticism, it's nice, but you don't need it. Whatever it is that we need to move forward and to elevate ourselves to our original place, our original home, Krishna will give it to you as long as you stay on the path of Bhakti Yoga. So simple. And there's so many paths of devotional service. And I think the one that most of us miss because some of us are so key in looking good for someone else or appearing like we know what we're talking about. We forget that devotional service is also being a friend. Krishna and Arjuna were ultimately friends on the battlefield, and they accomplished so much. Hearing, chanting, all of these paths are very important, but in the condition and the state that the world is in right now, we not only need to be a friend to each other, but a friend to ourselves. And I resonate the thought process, or I gravitate toward it. There is no way that I could exist or make it through the day without the mercy of the Lord. And anytime we think that we can, we're lost. We need to get to that point where we have surrendered, we dropped our guard, we are at the mercy of the Lord, and if we let him, in the proper mood, in the proper environment, he will orchestrate our life in such a way that we can never imagine. No matter what it is you come across, no matter what the situation, approach it boldly. Krishna is your father, he's my father, he's all of our fathers. So whatever challenges we have, even at the moment that it's almost overwhelming, realize that's the point at which that next change is right around the corner, when you're hanging by the skin of your teeth, when you're just barely hanging on. That's the time that you're going to start moving in an even more advanced direction. So welcome the challenges, but also welcome the fact that you have been blessed to be in a country where you can worship in any manner you want to worship and around any individual, not just the individuals that you were born with. I think it is wonderful to have such a wide array, such a varied array of personalities that are worshiping in this temple. And I pray that it increases even more. I, for one, my weakness, get bored easily when there's just one particular thing that's going on. Krishna is variegated. There are so many things that we can enjoy among ourselves. There's so many ways that we can assist ourselves in this world. And if we just step outside our box and do things that we ordinarily would be hesitant in doing, like reaching out, connecting with the person when you're, out shopping, you're in the library or whatever. There are so many different ways that we can preach. Take advantage of the process of preaching. Take advantage of the fact that we have nectarian information that needs to be shared with the world. However you distribute it, it's on you. Books, speaking, connecting with other individuals. Krishna has made our lives very simple. The material world complicates it sometimes, but everything that happens in our lives happens for a reason, and it happens individually to each one of us for a particular reason. For instance, you being on the verge of leaving your body, and you're actually not wanting anything else, you're good in that state. That's the state that we should be in. Whatever the Lord gives us, handle it. Ask him, bring it on. Like, was it Mother Kunti? How she wanted the challenges lifetime after lifetime, because when she's having those challenges, sometimes we need them in order to cry out the Lord's name. Otherwise, we're just going about the world, we're going about everything is perfect. No, it's not. We need the challenges, welcome the challenges, but at least have have the association around you so that you can lean back on someone. Make friends in this movement. Have someone that you can talk to. This can be a very lonely movement if you don't branch outside of your own space. There is so much that can be done. There's so much that we can do. There's so much that Srila Prabhupada could have done, but he left it up to us. This is our work. This is our challenge, to spread Krishna consciousness. And with just the basics, Bhakti Yoga is like it's the pedestal, it's a jump start that gives us so many opportunities to do so many other things. And I'm probably not really elaborating it to the extent, but when we operate in our activities, whatever it is we're doing, when we dovetail it and understand that everything that we're doing, we do in the service of the Lord, we should be little beacons of light and hope for everyone. For everyone. When someone sees us, when someone is in our presence, they should sense there's something really special about this person. Krishna's in the heart. Show him. Share it. Basically, devotional service, just really devotional service, bhakti yoga, can get you back home, back to Godhead. Didn't say you had to be able to completely understand the scriptures. May not be able to remember it. I don't remember them half the time. I have to go back and read over and over again. Sanskrit, I get it. Sometimes it doesn't flow all the way. Those are not the requirements. Those are not the requirements. The Hare Krishna mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. What that is saying in essence is, dear Lord, please engage me in your service. Basically. And if we could just do that without putting ourselves in the way or letting our energies get in the way that are not positive, if we could just do that, it would open up an entirely different mood in this world. not only in this world, but in this temple. The energy that we are able to put together based on the diverse personalities in this room is possible, and it should be something that we can relate to and have every single day. Transcendental nature of the Lord should not be foreign for us. We should all have a particular relationship with the Lord. We should have different experiences. We should have transcendental experiences. The Lord allows it. When we have those experiences, I think it's easier sometimes in order to tolerate what goes on in the world, because you know that there's something different, something that is much better. But until we get to that point, we have a foundation that we can exist on and live from and share. Now, I know that I'm really minimizing the text, but the point that I wanted to bring home is the fact that Bhakti Yoga is extremely important, should not be minimized, and that there are so many different ways to remember the Lord that we should take the opportunity to operate on those levels, that when we come to these classes, hopefully, and I'm not even going to ask anyone, but when you come to these classes, I just wonder how many of you have actually read not only what we're reading here today, the translations, but how many of you are actually going through the purports and even the Sanskrit, even if you can't read it. There is so much potency in the Sanskrits. How many of us actually do that? Because if you are continuously doing that, each time that you present yourself here before the Lord, your life should start to change. You should notice changes in your life. You should never be the same as you were last year. This is 2026. We should be more than we were before, better than we were before in 2026. We have the foundation to accomplish anything. But the point is to unite as one on a spiritual level, not on a bodily level. We get tripped up by that. But if we can connect on a spiritual level, there is no limit to what we can do. And it doesn't take a large amount of people to affect a change. It takes a couple of sincere souls to do it, and you're here. What you hear here in these classes, what you're reading, what you get from the relationship with the Lord, take it and use it. But understand, unless you're seeing each and every one of us with the Lord in the heart, you're not going to get anywhere. You won't. It won't happen. And that was the one thing that Srila Prabhupada was very good about, uniformity, regardless. So I know I'm going over the time, and I haven't even gone through my notes. What I give you from my heart. If I make mistakes, it's on me. If it sounds good, it's from my guru. So any reflections, anything anyone wants to share, just anything. Please. Mike?
I find this material world to be, in ways, a blessing for the devotees as well. Because in the world of ignorance and passion, we see the forces of evil aligning, but for their own benefits. They're all self-serving.
Mm.
And so they unite for that reason. But when things are very good, or when things are very bad, those people tend to diffuse. They can't stay united because of their passion and because of their ignorance. But when we're united in the Lord, our ecstasy and our suffering both bring us closer, all of us closer to Him at the same time, and we all can support and help each other through that space.
Absolutely.
For eternity.
Very nicely said. Thank you. Anyone else want to share something?
not sharing one query. So the last line of the purpose of this verse is very interesting. He says that you can be absorbed in Krishna by distributing books. So far, I mean, this is the first time I read this. I mean, though I have read this chapter, but I couldn't focus on that. So normally we think that, chanting or remembering Krishna's pastimes, we can be absorbed in, thoughts of Krishna. But he said that you can by fully concentrating on distributing books for Krishna, one can be fully absorbed in Krishna.
Yes.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, if you so desire, I mean, would you like to share at least one story of your Guru Maharaj about book distribution? If you so desire.
There are many. I remember, and that's the nice part about that line from Srila Prabhupada, Desa Kalapatra, time, place, and circumstance. We know what's in the scripture, but sometimes you have to be flexible when you're spreading Krishna consciousness. I remember a story, and I may not be getting it correctly, but the gist of it is he and a group of other book distributors on the, the Radha Damodar bus, where they were going and distributing books, and they came to this family's house. I guess they were at a house, not a business, or maybe it was a business. Anyway, they were trying to convince this individual to buy the books, and they were really laying it on about Krishna and everything, and how transcendental he is, and how miraculous he is, and how wonderful things can happen. And this may not be funny to you, but it was funny as heck to me. The lady left the room, and my Gurudev had an afro wig somewhere in his bag. And when she came back, he had this afro wig on his head. And she thought something miraculous had changed. And even as simple as that sounds to us today, to this lady, that was enough to buy those books. I know that is not one of his profound examples, but there are so many different examples where he was distributing. He hired and I think it was mentioned where he hired a limousine, and he goes to Muhammad Ali's place, and he develops a relationship with Muhammad Ali. And it lets you know that there is no individual, no one, regardless of the level, regardless of the importance or significance of their life, there is no one that we cannot approach and preach to. No one. And we should not underestimate the individuals whose paths we cross. We can look at a person and think, oh, they're not going to buy this book. Why do I waste my time? You have no idea who that soul is that you've passed. So when we're distributing books, we should be an equal opportunist book distributor. Book distributors that are going out, and I understand those that went out, they would, before they would go out, they would attend Mangal Arti. They were hearing the scriptures constantly. They were fired up. They were absolutely empowered. It is very empowering. It doesn't matter which book you're distributing. Distribute one book. Don't worry about, I know we count the numbers, but book distribution is very key. But also word of mouth and how we share what we learn here is important, even if you never distribute a book. Distribute the Lord's mercy and the words from your lips. No hard and fast rules. Anyone can do it. But thank you for asking that question. Yes, Prabhu? Oh my gosh, how he was almost, he was chased by, was it in Russia somewhere? They were chasing him, and he ended up running into a college or university in someone's classroom. And here's this, and I don't even like mentioning the body color. It's just a body. But here this black-bodied individual is in Russia, and he goes into a classroom hiding from the policemen that are chasing him across the campus. And he ends up selling books to the instructor of this university. He ended up in jail sometimes. It wasn't new. And you probably remember these more than I, because you've been in the movement much longer than I have. But he had so many instances where someone of his stature, nature, color should not have been doing anything, but that didn't stop him. Krishna does not see the body. He's connected in the heart. So any of us thinking that we can't do or can't take something from what we're reading and share it with someone else, you're defeating the whole purpose of it. Totally defeating it. But there's so many stories of Bhakti Tirtha Swami, of his god brothers. Much respect for them all. Much respect. And the other one thing that I'd like to leave you all with, to remember, in your behavior, do not think for 1 minute that what you do, Krishna does not see. That amazes me, the nonsense that we do, and we think, oh, I can get away with this. Krishna sees everything. If you are trying to progress, use your spiritual master as an example. When there's a difficulty, when there's a challenge, when there's something that needs to be done, ask yourself, what would Guru do? That helps me a lot through my lifetime. And it's been 20 years since my Guru has left his body, but he never left me. He's so much more present now than when he was in his body. So much more present. So there's so many miraculous things that can help, that can happen and occur in Krishna consciousness. And all it takes is trying to honor the 4 basic principles when you take shelter of a guru. That's your starting point. And you would be amazed at the places and the things and the people that you meet and what you can understand and share with others. And we have exactly what's needed to get through this world. No matter what's happening outside that door, we have exactly what is needed. But if we don't work together, it's a lost cause. Any more thoughts? Yes. Prabhupada Priya.
Hare Krishna. Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna.
much. I wanted to ask a question, but I don't want to push you to say something that you're uncomfortable sharing. But what you just said was very intriguing to me, that you feel your spiritual master's presence more now, decades after he left this world. I was wondering if you could maybe share some, how do you feel that? What are some tangible ways in which you feel his presence now, more so than when he was with us?
I am glad you asked me that. And I don't even know if it's good that this is recorded, because once it's out my mouth, it's out. It's out. But it is possible for the spiritual master to make appearances. I had a surgical procedure, and family was not able to be there. And just as we're going into the operating room, at the foot of my bed is my guru standing. Standing. I have had him stop me from doing some really crazy things. He's very much present. It's a transcendental transaction that takes place that's difficult to share with the average person. But the spiritual master makes appearances. He speaks to you. And people say they hear voices. Well, in this particular situation, you can actually hear when you're still and when you're in meditation. You can actually hear the instructions and the voices from the spiritual master. I've had and that was the other crazy thing, and it's hard to to tell someone that I knew this was my spiritual master. But I've pretty much been a rebel most of my life. Drove my parents crazy. I was the one, they went this way, I went that way. That was me, but it got me to this point. But, and the one story that I share, I'm meditating at home before I moved into Texas. And in the living room where I ordinarily meditate, you know, I'm communicating with Guru and Krishna. There were some challenges going on at work, and I was a target. So instead of me being in one particular position in the house where I ordinarily would sit, and understand I'm chanting and commune with Guru, a bullet came through the window, and it came through where I would sit. Crazy. But the bullet hit glass, and it climbed up the brick wall and ended up in the ceiling of the second floor window. And it was at a time when I really, really needed my Guru to protect me from all of the crazy things. You wouldn't imagine that someone would come after you, your life, in a work environment. But that is part of my background. That is part of where I came from. And I honestly believe that because I was having that moment with Guru, it was, don't sit here tonight. Sit here and meditate. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here at all. There are so many different experiences that I've had since my Guru has left his body. And he's not just communicating with me and talking to me. He's doing it with all, he didn't discriminate, neither did Srila Prabhupada. Do the necessary. Follow the instructions of Guru, and you would be amazed at the miracles that will take place in your life. You will be amazed at how one can leave their physical body and be ever present for you in their spiritual bodies. It is so positive. It is so necessary for us to exist. And actually, that is the only way, that is one of the other only ways that I am holding on to the lotus feet of Guru and Krishna. I have him supporting me. There is no other explanation I can give you. And of course, surrounding oneself with the necessary personalities that can assist in your spiritual growth is important, but the spiritual master never leaves you. Physical body may, spiritual, never. Thank you. I always shake people up when I tell them that story, because now it just curls my hair every time I think about it, because it happened and I know why it happened. And we have to understand. I know we're running out of time, but we have to understand the potential and the potency in this movement. Don't think it's small. Don't minimize it. There is so much more that a devotee can experience, learn, acquire, share. There is so much to this movement. And if we let our false egos trip us up, we're just going to keep changing bodies over and over again. So I know I've ran out of time. But all of you could have been somewhere else this morning. You came here. Krishna's mercy. You came to take shelter of the Lord. Continue to do that. But also continue to give what you're getting when you come here. Don't just have it here, this moment, and just leave it. Take it out into the world and share it. Any more comments? Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.